Hello everybody, JT Bear here, and thank you for joining me today on what is a glorious day here in Westman. In this particular video, I'd like to discuss with you, hopefully kind of briefly, about what I have learned about berry bush propagation. Turns out that what I thought I was doing as air layering is just layering, and today we're going to take a look at air layering to propagate some of my berry bushes. A lot of you are probably aware of the fact that we're hoping to get onto acreage one day, hopefully in the not too distant future, and once I get on that acreage I want to plant literally hundreds of berry bushes and nut trees and bushes and things. So I did a little math, and ultimately if I can make this work, I'm going to be saving myself tens of thousands of dollars in the long run. So to me it's worth a few experiments, and I don't know, I watched a lot of videos today. Hopefully this is the right way to do it. If I am still screwing it up, I really hope you'll let me know down in the comments below. And if this is your first time here, hey, a lot of stupid, strange stuff happens in the garden, so feel free to subscribe and all that good stuff. So yes, let's get started on looking at what I was doing and then looking at what I will be doing. So starting off with past tense, what I was doing and thought of as air layering was in fact just layering. This is the gooseberry bush, and it's the perfect example because I've still got one set up where I've just taken the branch and I've kind of stuffed it into the soil. Eventually it will form roots there, and I'll be able to clip it free and it will be its own plant. Turns out that's not air layering, that's just layering. So what we're going to do today is rather different, but hopefully even more effective. So I'm going to set this up on the tripod and show you what I'm going to do here, first with the gooseberry and then with our smoky Saskatoon that we brought from the Okanagan Valley, because it seems to be doing well here and I want more of them. Hopefully you can see this well enough, but one of the advantages apparently to air layering is that you can take rather larger cuttings and have a better start to your plant's life. If I was going to snip this for trying to root it, say in the arrow garden, I would clip off this top little bit, strip it down, hope for the best. But what we're going to do today, oh, forgot how thorny this little guy was. What we're going to do today is put something here to let this become its own plant while still maintaining a connection to the bush that it started off on. Apparently all I need for this is tin foil and some soil and a decent knife. And what we're going to want to do is kind of score around it at two different heights, and then we're going to need to strip that all the way down to the hardwood layer, which I guess means getting through this light green. I think folks have been calling that the cambium. Now I am nervous as can be because I'm terrified I'm going to go too far on this. This is the first time I've tried it, so when it comes to criticisms, please bear that in mind. And I'm working with a tripod, not a cameraman, so hopefully these angles aren't too terribly bad. All right, just take a quick look on the back here. Oh, you're a pokey little devil. All right, so half the videos that I watched suggested wrapping it in cellophane or plastic wrap first. We're not going to bother with that. So we're going to get into our soil here. For this attempt I'm just using a standard potting soil from the co-op, and it feels fairly moist, so I'm hoping I'm good there. So I've just taken a goodly clump of my potting soil here, put it into my tin foil, and I'm going to try and wrap that around where we cut the gooseberry. Let's see how that works out. All right, again, this is hopefully on camera. I'd hate for you to miss the struggles here. I probably could have used a much smaller piece of tin foil, and I definitely could have used less soil. And I can see how I'll be doing this differently in the future. In fact, I can do it differently now. Okay, so my first attempt totally didn't work with this, and I have now taken my potting soil and soaked it to a point of drippy mud. And hopefully, I can just kind of form this in a little ball around my scuff, or my open wound, whatever you want to call it. Just a little bit of a mud ball. Come on, work with me. It doesn't really want to work with me. I'm starting to think maybe I should have used this good old Manitoba mud for this. And that's what I'll be trying for number 3. Okay. Alright, so for attempt number 3, just gotten a spade of so-called soil out of our garden. What I usually refer to as Manitoba mud. And it is much stickier. But will it stick? Or am I going to need to like just attach my tin foil first? Might just be too heavy. Yeah, okay, so now that my hands are thoroughly disgusting, best part about gardening right there, take some of our tin foil. What is this, attempt number 4? I'm gonna wrap it, my arm keeps hitting the camera, very sorry. Wrap it around the base. Create a bit of a cup, I hope. This is probably why most people try things before they make a video, but no, not me. Okay, so pack in some of our Manitoba mud. And try and seal this up a little bit. I'm going to use the rest of my tin foil to wrap around it and make a more secure package here. But I think I'm learning a valuable lesson about this idea in general, and I should be doing it much closer to the branch stem here, like at the very bottom, so that my tinfoil and my soil can like rest on that perhaps. Well, that ain't pretty. It is thoroughly touching the exposed part, theoretically fairly well wrapped. And yeah, bit more of an adventure than I was expecting. All right, I'm gonna wash my hands, move the camera, and we'll try this again on the Saskatoon with what I've learned from this go with the gooseberries. Okay, so here we are at the smoky Saskatoon berry, and I'm gonna try a little bit lower here. Got a little branch off to the side, got a branch I'm hoping will support it. So, we're actually going to take this one off. And I'll try this again. Cutting around the stem. Making a nice open patch is the plan. It's interesting, I saw mostly figs when people were doing this. So I guess it's really easy to do this with figs. Don't know. I'm hoping it's really easy to do this with Saskatoon berries, because I may have mentioned this before, but I've tried digging up some of the ones growing up front, and it's just not working out for me. Which is a shame, because probably 100 of them growing underneath those 2 bushes. And eventually I'm going to try this off of those too, because the theory is you can get considerably larger plants. So, in theory, that's scraped. Just trying to make sure I get rid of all of that light green layer, because quite a few different people stressed the importance of that. All right. Now this time, I want to try wrapping my tin foil around it first to create, like I was trying on the other one, something of a bowl. Which I can hopefully then fill with my soil. And I got some tape to wrap around the base of this as well. So hopefully this time things will work out for us. But Manitoba mud into the tin foil. And I'm thinking I'm going to want to make this larger than I did on the gooseberry, because it's a significantly larger bit of bush that I'm trying to turn into a plant here. So cup that around, pack it down. Yeah, this is definitely going to need a second layer of foil, but that's okay, because ultimately that's still a lot cheaper than buying Saskatoon Berry cuttings that somebody else has probably done this very thing to create. As always, I've got the peanut gallery of the chickens. You can probably tell I don't do a lot of leftovers in aluminum foil. Okay, and a second layer on that. To contain it a little bit better. It'll be interesting to see what happens with this side branch. Who am I kidding? This whole thing's going to be interesting to see what happens. But hopefully when we check back on this in, I'm going to give it a few months. A, it will still be intact, and B, we'll open it up to find a whole bunch of roots in there, and I can just snip it off, and it'll basically be good to go and plant out in one of our other locations. That's the theory anyway. All right, well, looking at my end result here, I'm going to say next time I should use something more like an electrician's tape, but otherwise this one looks a little more hopeful than the one on the gooseberry. Now, most of the videos that I watched said the leaves should be open, and I'm jumping the gun here. I recognize that with the Saskatoon, but the leaves are open and collecting sunlight on the gooseberry. So yeah, I'm just hopeful that this will work. Please leave your thoughts down in the comments below as to whether or not you've tried this, seen it work, seen it fail. Yeah, any information or experience that you could share with me on that would be fantastic. Yes, thank you, ladies. Always got to get into every video, don't ya? Okay then. And on that note, I guess that's where I'm going to wrap it up today, because not too many of the other berry bushes are throwing leaves yet. Like I say, I know it is a little bit early, but I wanted to get a jump on it because we've got a really short season, and honestly, I just don't know how long this is going to take. So here's to hope, and hope you've enjoyed this video on that note, and I will see you next time doing, I don't know, something else. Looks like probably planting potatoes, companion planting potatoes, according to Carrots Love Tomatoes. Anyway. Yes, and of course what I've got in my seed collection. So yes, that'll probably be what's up next. I will see you then. Take care, everybody.